Hello, YouTube. All right, I am actually up on the rooftop of the shed. Um, it's obviously not finished because I have to try to get rid of this tree before I finish the roof. But as you can see, I've got most of the overhanging branches out of the way at this point. They are like all over the backyard. I don't know if you can see what looks like a jungle down there. That is what was formerly the upper part of the tree. Still have some danger spots in that this spot is really high. It's about 45, 50 feet in the air. Oh, some birds just came by. 45, 50 feet in the air. And cutting it means it might try to fall on the roof. So I'm still trying to work that out. Had cut the beams that extended out, but this part here, I can't just cut because it'll fall on the roof and probably bust through. I know it doesn't look like a lot, but it probably weighs a couple 100 pounds, maybe 100 or 200 pounds. I don't know. Wood always looks lighter than it is until you go to move it or it falls. And especially if it falls, then it's got gravity working, with the weight. So what we did was we rigged up. We're using the tree to help take down the tree. So I rigged up a cable, a line there, not a cable, but a rope, and another one there, so that when I cut it, hopefully it'll just swing and hang, and then we can lower it down gently, versus having it come crashing down and bust through the roof, which it could do, because it would be coming down with quite a force. I did dig up the chainsaw. None of you guys remember this chainsaw here. This was the saw that I bought and used to get rid of Walter's tree. Remember that big giant oak tree? I think it was an oak tree in Walter's yard. So the last time you saw this in use was at Walter's yard, taking down the tree, and when I was building the hut 2.0 in the woods. So I managed to dig it up, fired it up, got it working. It didn't want to start initially because it's been sitting, I guess, about 3 years. But got it started, so I think it's working now. And I'm going to be using it to cut the big parts instead of using this little hyper tough pole saw. The pole saw actually did all the stuff here, but the issue is it's a rechargeable pack, and those things run out after about 10, 15 minutes of continual usage. So basically I had to recharge the unit. I have multiple battery packs over and over, and then I had to stop working because it ended up running out of power. And I went through basically 4 or 5 packs of power, and it still wasn't done. And the sad thing is the battery packs, they take hours to charge, like overnight usually. So you need a lot of extra packs if you're planning on using this. I think in the future, if I had an option, I might use wired, corded cutters instead of using these, because power was an issue, kept running out. And so we got the chainsaw, which runs off gasoline, and hopefully that will allow me to take off this big piece and then some of these other bigger pieces. Still got that piece that hangs out over the wire here for the power that brings to the shed, which then gets distributed to the entire house. So that is still a little bit of danger. It doesn't look like it would be a big deal, but it is, because see, it's really high up and there's no place for me to stand to cut. So what I might have to do is possibly build a little temporary tree house, scaffolding or something, on these branches here, so I can climb up there and kind of cut, as far out as I can. That's going to be the plan. I don't know if it's going to work or not. So far I've been lucky, I haven't gotten hurt yet. Power line, when the big ones dropped, I managed to calculate it so that, like, when I cut these branches here, like that one right there, it fell and it missed. It just barely missed the line. And that was like those big pieces over there. So also the back, like the ones here that I cut, like that wedged one. And there was another one over here. This one here on the side that I cut right there. I got it to miss the back, but you can see how far out it went, but it didn't hit the back, so that was good, because that's the main power line. So the lizards are obviously pissed off at me. These little iguana lizard thingies. I don't know if you can see him there. He's right over here. I guess I can't zoom in on this video, but he's right there on that stump. This place used to be covered with millions of them. And they do change colors. He's like gray now to match the thing. He's checking me out. See if he can let me film him. Oh, he decided to get shy. So I cut all of them, you know, so poor lizards don't have a home anymore. The squirrel who used to hop around, oh, here he is checking me out. The squirrel who came by here, you know, he was hanging on this tree and stuff, came and gave me a dirty look. I took away one of his hangout spots. So, and this lizard's gonna lose his spot here soon. If I can do everything that I want to do, this tree is gonna be completely gone. All these different stumps coming out here. That way I can finish the shed, you know, and a nice square roof or rectangular roof instead of having to cut around the tree. This is the plan. So stay tuned. We'll see what happens. Meanwhile, you can see that the roof right now has temporarily just has tarp. Oh, I had to do something really scary. You'll see the step ladder. You're like, why is there a step ladder up here? Step ladder's up here because I needed to lay it. I had to actually do something scary. So you can see all this stuff here. You see how that's tied up there? Yeah. I had my wife climb up there because I'm kind of fat, and we had to lay the ladder here up on that branch and have her climb up. So we're up above the ground and had the step ladder, and she had to climb up there and tie that rope. I had to climb up here to do some other weird cutting, so it was kind of scary because you know this roof isn't flat. The roof surface is at a slant. And the reason that board is there is to try to keep the step ladder from poking a hole through. So basically, that's why we had the ladder up here. The ladder was to give height, to go up higher, because there were some branches that were really high that had to be cut, like those. And there were some others that got cut, and, you know, obviously, I couldn't, what made it difficult was that I couldn't just cut from the bottom and let it fall. You know, somebody like, why didn't you just cut from the bottom? Well, it would fall and it would hit the power lines. And that would be a problem. Or it would fall right on top of the roof, on top of the building here, and poke a hole in the roof that I just fixed. I'm like, well, why didn't you cut it before you fixed the roof? Because I couldn't get up here to cut it. It's like everything that you're going to do, you have to do 10 other steps to do that one step. You know, it's like cut the tree, but before you get the tree, you gotta do all these other things, 10 million other things before you can get to that point. And that's what's taking so long, is that everything is not as simple as it seems. But in the end, I hope that we'll have this whole tree removed and the shed will be nice and clear. And then we start clearing out the vegetation. We had already cut that other tree there, but we're letting some branches grow because we're going to try to make it so it has like almost like a natural overhang to have shade. But we don't want the branches going anywhere all over the place. And we're topping off the height of the trees because they're too high, and there's a potential for it to fall on the house, you know. And that one, you can see all the birds up there. I filmed earlier, they were like eating all those fruits. What are they called again? I think loquats. They're yellowish orange, but all the birds love them because they're ripe now. They're super sweet. They were kind of sour earlier when they were yellow, but now they're sweet and all the birds are all over the place. Now, I'm going to go ahead and sign out. Thank you all for tuning in. I will keep you posted, so stay tuned. Bye-bye now.